the Japanese soil trick that doubled my harvest. Gardeners don't know this. If you've been following Soilsage Chronicles, you already know I love uncovering old, overlooked, and practical methods that make a real difference in the garden. Today, I want to share a technique that completely transformed my yields, one I stumbled upon while studying traditional Japanese farming practices. This isn't just another compost tip, it's something deeper. It's a way of preparing the soil that encourages microbial cooperation, worm expansion, and long-term fertility. It's the reason why some Japanese farmers grow strong, disease-resistant crops without expensive fertilizers or constant interventions. And once I tried it, my garden responded dramatically. Root crops doubled in size, leafy greens became thick and vibrant, even the soil smelled alive. This is Takakura layered microbe soil conditioning, a slow-building microbe-first soil strategy rooted in traditional Japanese agriculture. Let's break it down. The concept: feed the soil, not the plant. Modern gardening advice often focuses on feeding plants directly. Liquid fertilizers, foliar sprays, nutrient mixes. But traditional Japanese farmers approached growth differently. They believed that healthy soil is a living being, and plants are simply beneficiaries of that living system. Instead of asking, what does the plant need today, they asked, what does the soil community need to support the plant forever? This mindset shift is everything. Once the soil is biologically rich, fertility just becomes self-sustaining. So, the method we're talking about here is called a layered microbial bed. At the core of this Japanese method is creating a layered soil bed that encourages microbes and worms to really thrive. The key is to create slow-release, biologically active layers instead of just mixing everything together at once. Here's how it works. First, you start with a base layer. The foundation is made up of rough, carbon-rich material, like dried leaves, straw, shredded cardboard, or even rice hulls. This slow breakdown layer acts kind of like a sponge, storing moisture and creating air spaces that let roots and microbes breathe. Add a fermented organic layer. This is where the magic happens. Instead of raw compost, Japanese farmers often use partially fermented material, like kitchen scraps, comfrey, aged manure, bokashi, or even fermented plant juice. It introduces living microbes rather than just nutrients. Next, top with native soil. This may feel counterintuitive, but you always finish with your local soil. This ensures local microbial colonies integrate with the new community. The result: stable, resilient soil life that doesn't burn out. Now, mulch deeply. The mulch layer protects the new microbe colonies from sunlight, dryness, and quick decomposition. It also keeps worms working near the surface where plant roots feed. This isn't a quick fertilizer boost, it's soil transformation. So, why does it work? Here's the biology behind the method. When the rough carbon layer sits below the fermented nutrient layer, microbes slowly travel downward to break it down. As they do, they multiply, exponentially. Worms follow the microbes, and roots follow the worms. Everything begins to work in harmony. So, the soil becomes layered, kind of like a forest floor. It's moist, spongy, and honestly, just packed with these high fungal networks. Plus, it's rich in stable organic carbon, and this is really where long-term fertility is born. What I noticed in my own garden, well, I didn't expect dramatic results, honestly. I just wanted to see if the method made composting more efficient, but what happened was far more exciting. Root crops developed deeper, thicker taproots. Tomatoes actually resisted fungal diseases that usually take hold mid-season. The soil stopped drying out quickly, even during those hot weeks. And wow, worm populations just exploded. But, the most surprising change was how the soil felt. When I slid my hand under the mulch, the earth was dark, rich, airy, and full of life. It didn't clump. It didn't compact. It behaved just like mature forest soil. That's when I understood why Japanese farmers consider soil a living inheritance. So, how do you actually apply this in a regular garden bed? Well, you don't need exotic materials. Just use what you already have. Step 1 is to remove weeds without disturbing the soil layers. Next, lay down about 3 to 4 inches of carbon-rich material, like dry leaves, shredded stalks, or even cardboard. For step 3, add 1 to 2 inches of semi-fermented organic matter. Think half-finished compost, bokashi, comfrey leaves, or some aged manure. Then sprinkle your native soil right on top as the final dressing. After that, cover everything with a thick mulch, grass clippings, dried leaves, or straw work great. Water deeply, and then, honestly, just leave it alone. There's no need for constant turning, no mixing, and no chasing after nutrient numbers. Just let the biology do the work. Now, this method isn't fast, but it's permanent. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that spike growth quickly and then fade just as fast, the layered microbe method builds fertility that actually deepens every year. Your soil becomes a living ecosystem, not just a medium to push nutrients through. And, when your soil becomes alive, gardening just gets easier. Less watering, fewer pests, better flavor, and honestly, stronger yields. It's really the closest thing to effortless abundance I've experienced. So, final thoughts here. The world of agriculture, it often pushes speed, convenience, and chemicals, but honestly, the most powerful fertility strategy I've ever discovered was born thousands of years ago, practiced quietly, respectfully, and patiently. The Japanese understood that the garden isn't something you force into production, it's something you invite into balance. If your soil has been struggling, if your yields are inconsistent, if you feel like you're constantly fixing problems instead of actually growing food, well, try building soil the way a forest does. Slowly, layered, alive. Your plants, they'll know the difference. If you found this valuable, this is exactly the type of gardening wisdom we explore on Soil Sage Chronicles. If you want more soil-building secrets, hands-on experiments, and proven traditional methods that actually work, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share this article with another gardener, and comment what topic you want me to uncover next. Let's keep growing, learning, and restoring the soil together.